All right, folks. Hey, it's Thursday, February 6, 2025. We're back on our regular schedule, Tuesday, Thursday live sessions, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for stopping by. If you are new here and you want to get tapped in, stay in touch with us. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com. And I would encourage you guys to not just subscribe, but also hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of our updates that we're bringing every single day, nonstop. And I would be, I think that some people are going to be surprised here. But yes, we have another bullish update on XRP. We're not going to be talking about price. If you want to complain or cry about price, please do so by dropping a comment down below, letting us know how much you want to whine about the price coming down a little bit here today. And I actually, want to share a little bit of empathy with folks that did, overinvest in XRP, maybe use too much leverage. We're getting a lot of stories back of leverage liquidating a lot of people. And I just like to point out that it did take the largest liquidation event in the history of cryptocurrency to take XRP below $2 once again. XRP's building structure now above $2. For those of us that have been here for a while, this is nothing new. It is something new as far as structure above $2. And this is a beautiful thing to see. For new people that got overinvested, I saw some people talking about, they brought their average way up because they aped in to XRP above $2 and $3. And so, their average that was 50 cents is now a lot higher and they're getting shaken out. But in the same comment, they're also admitting that they did overinvest. And I have empathy for that. I really do, because I get it. I've been pounding the table about inflation not going away. I started making a recession to-do list and pounding the table about going into a recession, that they would cover it up by the economic data that's completely manipulated. And we're going to get the jobs report tomorrow. But because we're in such an upside down reality, when the jobs numbers come out as good, it's bad for the market because it means that Daddy Powell isn't going to cut rates further. And that's what we're hanging our hat on. And it's a fatal mistake for much of the market. This overvalued stock market, this real estate reset that we're observing, and a cryptocurrency space that needed to be cleaned up. It was over levered and we got a little ahead of ourselves. We get smacked up, get pulled back here. This is actually normal. We've actually pumped 600%. And I just asked the question, where are we measuring from? Folks say XRP's dumping, XRP's going down. And I was looking today at the 5-minute chart. And sure enough, if you're looking at the 5-minute chart, you might get sad because the chart is coming down. But if you zoom out to the 4-hour chart, which I'm doing right here, it looks fine. It looks actually just fantastic. Look at this chart right here on XRP 4-hour chart. Consolidation. Okay, once again, largest liquidation event in the history of cryptocurrency is what it took to break XRP below $2 for, let me remind you, 10 minutes. You got XRP for $2 under 10 minutes. That was it. Now we're back above $2, building structure. And I forgot to pull it up here tonight because I was going to make a joke about the asteroid. Now the next thing to be scared of is the asteroid that's going to hit in 2032. And the scientists have upped the predictions, upped the probability from 1% to 2%. Okay. And so I left this one out. I've been talking about during the alien invasion how we're going to be buying the dip on XRP. We just don't care. We're just numb to it at this point. And so we're going to be buying the dip, maybe not XRP, but maybe other assets too, whether it's an alien invasion, no matter what they throw at us. And now I would like to include the asteroid too. I saw that post today and I just laughed. I just said, we're just not scared anymore. If that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. And so the asteroid is also another dip that we might have to prepare ourselves for. Now, this one we got time for. So they got some time to prime us with fear and pushing that narrative of division, distractions, divisiveness, is only going to keep you away from the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Somebody commented today, what transfer of wealth are you talking about? Well, I've been saying that not everybody gets on the right side of it. That's why it's important to have a real strategy right now, not just being throwing darts blindly at the wall trying to pick the next, meme coin, the next narrative, the next hot thing, the next AI, the next gaming, the next whatever the next narrative is going to be, versus understanding the utilities that we've invested in aren't necessarily going to be moving overnight, but we can appreciate the 600% pump that we've gotten in the past 3 months that blows away the returns of any traditional stock market investor. But because we're in the crypto space, we're so full and used to instant gratification, we want another 600x now. Lock in. It's coming. I can assure you that. And for anybody that thought that I might tone it back a little bit, that I might not be so hype about XRP, you're going to be sadly mistaken, because I'm focused on fundamentals. I drop a video today speaking on fundamentals. Tax-free XRP pump was the title. People say, oh, clickbait. Did Donald Trump not just release his tax restructuring bill? Yes, he did. Did XRP not just pump 600%? Yes, it did. Is XRP going to continue pumping? Absolutely. And the biggest liquidation event in the world is not going to scare me. A little dip is not going to scare me. The aliens are not going to scare me, and neither is the asteroid. So that's where we're at with this market. People want me to address the market. Oh, speak to this manipulation. I just did a few days ago. Check out the whiteboard videos that we've done. The market cap multiplier is very dramatic on XRP. It's very easy to move this asset up and down. That's the great opportunity that lies here with XRP and other digital assets that move similarly. Many people aren't going to make it. We're just trying to help as many people as we can to get across the goal line, to get across the finish line. Not everybody's going to be making it to the dance, though. We understand that. Not everybody understands that one day, yes, XRP is going to power the world, no matter how much the Bitcoin maxis cry about it. Okay, folks, if you appreciate what we're doing, ZachRector.com for all of our community resources if you want to support us that way. But it is free to smack it, tap it, and share it out far and wide. Let's rock and roll. You guys see the chart here. The structure is just fine. We're bouncing up here to $2.36 right now. Not a problem. Looking fantastic. Slide it on over. Why did the market come down today? Like I said, it is a upside down reality. Jobless claims rise slightly, but no sign of trouble brewing in the labor market. So because the jobless claims went up, but not up by too much, our economy's still strong. That's why the market went down, is because Daddy Powell's not going to give us another rate cut, which we already got the pause this month. Was that last week, right? And so we already got a pause. We're probably going to get another pause until Donald Trump actually strips the power back away from the Federal Reserve. We might be playing a dance with the Fed for a while. They're not coming to save us. They rug pulled America by design, on purpose. They raised rates at the fastest pace in the history of any rate hike cycle in the Fed's existence. So we went from the cheapest interest rates in the past 5,000 years to raising rates at the fastest pace ever. That's called a Federal Reserve rug pull of the American economy. And this is why people are tapped. This is why people are asking me, what transfer of wealth are you talking about? Because when they go to the grocery store, when they go to fill up the gas tank, when they go to pay rent, when they go to buy a home, and that's what I have empathy for. I understand that. That's why I've been pounding the table here about not getting ahead of our skis, especially with the Bitcoin community and basically this Bitcoin pump it up narrative, which has not been focused on real world utility and lasting power. See, where we're going with XRP and these other utility cryptocurrencies, we can sustain the levels that we're shooting up to. I think that what we've seen so far has been primarily a retail-driven speculative pump. And I'm going to show you later in this episode, too, that there's just a massive amount of accumulation of XRP taking place. And we've been showing that on the order books, but we're going to show you the wallets here in tonight's update. And I think that people need to see what's taking place. We got big whales still accumulating. Dave Portnoy just bought another million XRP. I'm going to show you the polls that Tristan Tate did. The Tate bros are about to ape into XRP. Everybody's coming into XRP right now. And for those, the real ones in our community who need to keep stacking their bag, they're stacking the bag. For those of you guys that are stacking other cryptos, we've been stacking other cryptos. I bought more HBAR yesterday. I was in the middle of my HBAR deep dive. I had to scoop up a little bit more. But once again, what did I break down in my deep dive? What have I been breaking down in all of my updates? When it's time to get hype, which is every day for XRP from a fundamental perspective, it just keeps getting better and better. Would I get hyped on XRP from a TA standpoint while we chill at 50 cents? No, it wasn't moving. 3 months ago, basically to the day, just about, we were at 50 cents and people forget that. Now that we're moving and we chop sideways for a week or two, folks say, calm it down, tone down. You'd be sadly mistaken to think that I'm going to tone down when I'm seeing the fundamentals only improve on a daily basis, when I'm seeing on-chain metrics, activity, wallets, transactions, tokens, every metric is growing on the XRP ledger right now. I'm not going to tone it back. We're not going to chill. We're here to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, and you have to understand the difference between getting excited about fundamentals and then getting too overexcited and overextended. We don't use leverage. Last time I used leverage was shorting Bitcoin. That's the only time I've really used it. We're picking up spot. We're setting our limit orders, scooping it up. We don't care what the black swan's going to be. We don't care what the excuse is. It was DeepSeek AI. Now it's trade war. What's it going to be this weekend? Like I said, the scientists now tell us the asteroid's coming. It's not a problem. I'm buying XRP. We're buying these assets and we're not going to stop. We got a lot to cover. Let's keep it rolling. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Okay, so here's the thing. People get it twisted. They think I'm just a big Trumpy. Mr. Trump, President Trump, has some big problems to address. And it's going to be a tough situation here. We have the Federal Reserve's reverse repo facility dropping another 8% today to their lowest inventory in 1,386 days today. Do you know what happens when excess bank money runs out? This is how they've been backstopping the banking system. There's been a liquidity crisis going on for over a year and a half now. Almost approaching 2 years, because the banking crisis started in March of 2023. It never got fixed. It got covered up. And now the back end of the system is being drained. That's what that reverse repo facility is. This is the back end of the banking system, and they're tapping into this, draining it right now. This has been an ongoing liquidity crisis, and it needs to be addressed, just like the $9 trillion of debt that the United States has to roll over this year. That's a significant problem for Trump. But do I think that he's going to put up his best fight? Absolutely. He's moving quickly in this direction. What got leaked today was Trump's plan for peace in Ukraine. This plan includes ceasefire by April 20th. Ukraine would be barred from joining NATO. Ukraine would recognize Russian sovereignty over annexed lands and withdraw troops from Kursk. Demilitarized zone policed by European troops with no U.S. involvement. $486 billion in reconstruction assistance funded by the EU. The timeline shows peace talks beginning in early February. So this gets leaked out here today, and I just wanted to share this with you guys to show you that we're heading towards peace. We're heading towards prosperity, but there is significant problems that have to be addressed in the meantime. And the enemy is going down fighting and kicking and screaming the whole way. They're not rolling over nicely. And we saw a slew of lawsuits filed in kangaroo courts by corrupt judges on behalf of basically labor unions and basically political interests to shut down everything that's going on with U.S. aid and everything that's going on with Trump, Elon, Doge, looking into and investigating where all of our money's going. And it's absolutely shocking where just how ridiculous it is. We knew that they were wasting it. That was no question. But the ridiculous stuff that they've been spending money on is just absurd. And, we get to a point here, and this is where I hope that most people can be at with me on this, is that it's just not what's best for America. Left, right, up, down, who do you love, who do you believe in? No. We want an opportunity here in America, and we don't do so by funding musicals in Ireland. There's no debate. And as I've been saying, even if you want to fund musicals in Ireland, we can't cut a check that cashes. And so, like I said, we have some serious problems that we're going to have to break through. President Trump laying out his tax plan today. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. Tax cuts for Made in America products, renewing his 2017 middle class tax cuts, and more. So, and look at this. This is the press secretary coming out in front of Congress, in front of the White House, speaking to reporters and giving them the update in real time. At least we can appreciate the fact that we're getting answers, we're getting representation, and people are working on behalf of the American people every single day. Now, this does not go far enough. No tax on tips, Social Security, all that, that's great. The Fair Tax Act of 2025 that was submitted by Buddy Carter into Congress, that's where I'd like to see this go. That's the constitutional approach. But you have to wake up the masses. Remember, these people are walking zombies. You can't just hit them with the bombshell right away. You have to slow drip it to them. It's like me spoon feeding my little one. We got to help him out a little bit. You know, he's going to make a little mess, have a little dribble. Got to help him out a little bit. We got to spoon feed these people. And so it starts. The icebreaker is no tax on tips. How can you be against that? No tax on Social Security. How can you be against that? No tax on American-made products. How could you be against that? Maybe that's going to include U.S. cryptos. Are you ready to have a good time in this country? Or are we going to whine and cry? And the ones that are screaming and kicking the most, well, we know those are the corrupt ones. I don't need to name them. Ondo Finance did welcome Donald Trump Jr. to their conference here today. This was a big conference that took place today. It's where I got the inspiration for tonight's episode, and I'm going to show you a clip here of David Schwartz speaking at the Ondo Summit here today. And I just want to make a quick point before I share this quick clip from David Schwartz explaining this mass institutional adoption moment. Mass institutional adoption, and I titled this episode XRP Mass Enterprise Adoption. This is what David says comes next, and really is what we're in the middle of right now. And what I found interesting is that when these guys got announced onto the stage, he was up there with Sergey from Chainlink. He was up there, this gal from Uniswap. And I forget who the other gentleman was. But I just noticed, I had to notice, that when they asked everybody to introduce themselves, David just simply said he's the CTO at Ripple and he's one of the creators of the XRP ledger. And he just left it at that. He didn't have to explain a thing. Versus Sergey from Chainlink, the Uniswap gal, and the other guy, they all had to explain, you know, Chainlink's going to be doing sophisticated transactions and this and this. It's like, whoa, man. Hey, we're just trying to get an introduction here. You don't need to get into the tech on what your Chainlink's doing. And I'm not trying to pick on, I'm just saying I noticed something interesting there. That David didn't have to explain himself. That the XRP ledger doesn't have to explain itself like these other blockchains do. They already start going on their story about what their tech's going to do and sophisticated transactions and connecting instant. And the first question, David starts off by saying how, as far as institutions getting into this game, things have changed. We've been doing this for over a decade. It was funny because the Chainlink guy started by saying, yeah, you know, we're starting to have some conversations and we've been doing some things. And we got JP Morgan and a couple other big banks are on our cap table. You know, so they invested in us and well, we're doing proof of concepts with them so that we know that we're going to be, you know, able to fit, you know, and service them down the road. And it flips over to David Schwartz, and it's not about hypotheticals. He mentioned the proof of concepts that they were doing 10 years ago. And I noticed that right away about how funny that was. You know, it's something to note that David didn't have to explain himself. The XRP ledger didn't have to explain himself. As far as onboarding institutions, we were doing this 10 years ago. But it's nice that, you know, the space is catching up. And as I've said, you know, Ripple and XRP has always had the competitive advantage. They've always had their foot in the door. This is not something new. This is not something that's in the proof of concept phase. We were in proof of concept phase with Bank of America in 2016. Same time frame that we were starting to do deals with R3 and other banks and large institutions. And I forgot to pull up the clip here of the Bank of International Settlements today, talking about how Bitcoin is not going to be included. It's not tied to any unit of account, and it will not be used. So while we're listening to these Bitcoin bros tell us how they're going to be the future of finance, while we're listening to some of these other projects talk about how they're starting to, you know, do some tests. And I have to note too, this is how these insiders dump on you. Is basically these early investors get in on these companies as the tokens are being launched or before the tokens get launched. And then they allow proof of concepts and tests to be taking place, right? These are tests with JP Morgan, which allows these projects to run around and say, oh, we're testing for JP Morgan. We're working with JP Morgan. And they throw that all around. And this is how they get their exit liquidity. The difference that I see with Ripple, and this is a learning lesson for us, is that they've been very clear about who's using their products that don't include XRP. And then they're very clear when they were doing their on-demand liquidity reports on who's using XRP, which we can actually see people are. With most of the projects in this space, they're talking about it. They're thinking about it. They're doing fireside chats. They're doing proof of concepts, but nobody's actually holding or using the token. It's a big difference. Now, I'm going to play this clip here from David Schwartz, who commanded the stage here at the Ondo Summit. I wouldn't expect anything less. But listen to him speak here about the institutional adoption that we're right in the middle of right now.
There's high friction right now where people are poorly served. For almost any technology, when you're trying to figure out where you can get the traction, you look for people who are poorly served by the existing technology because you don't have to be perfect to get their business. You just have to be better. Exactly. And the worse it is, the less good you have to be better. And I think areas like real estate, like venture capital, private equity, things like that are just very poorly served. Another thing that works surprisingly is the opposite end. It's actually both ends work better than the middle. So on one end, people are very poorly served, there's very high friction. On the other end, where believe it or not, where people are very well served and there's very low friction, you can actually get traction because if you can save a very small amount of money, that's better. So for example, tokenized treasuries, you've heard a lot about tokenized treasuries. Those actually work pretty well right now. You might think, well, why would that be an area? And it's because of that. It's because if there's a $3 transaction cost and you can push that down to a fraction of a penny, that's actually a lot because the margins are so small. If I'm only making 2%, you're charging me a couple of basis points. If I can save you a couple of bucks, that actually does matter. So I think it's like the two ends. As far as like what people should focus on, if we're going to turn to the corner to mass adoption, user experience is going to be absolutely critical. The biggest problem with mass adoption is when the users have to understand the details of what they're doing. If you look at any technology that's gotten mass adoption, whether it's the internet, computers, cars, it's when people don't have to understand the details of the technology that it works the best. And so it's getting that user experience. Interoperability is a big part of that. If it's like my money's over here, but the thing I want to do is over here, and I really have to think about that, that's too much work.
It's not worth the energy and effort.
And that's probably why institutional adoption is going to happen before mass retail adoption, because institutional adoption, that the complexity is not as big of a blocker.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Constantine,
Institutional adoption is going to happen before retail adoption. My apologies that was so quiet. I don't know why that particular clip was so quiet. I should have checked that before I pulled it up here for tonight. But basically the main takeaway that he said here is that we're in the middle of the institutional adoption phase right now, where we simplify this down to where folks don't even have to understand this technology. We will not get mass adoption if everybody has to figure out how to do a wallet, how to do cold storage, how to really navigate this how we do, using the DEX, playing around with AMMs, buying meme coins. This is not for the masses. The masses need the simple products, the checking, the savings, the yield, the trust, the compliance, and they need to not have to think about it or understand the tech. And so this is where we're at right now. And to me, it's very clear that there's only a few people in the group. Now, I just kind of picked on Chainlink a little bit. I want to be clear. Chainlink, I've been impressed with. They are, they really are connected with many different blockchains. They've been the leader in this Oracle space. I'd like to see Flare go at Chainlink. I really would. But I've been disappointed with Flare, to be honest. There's more to be done there. But Chainlink so far has really dominated this space, this segment, and they've got themselves a nice little spot within this market. I'm interested to see how it'll perform this bull run. It's not an exciting opportunity that really jumps out at me, but for the early investors in the Link Marines, that got in early and that are watching this thing appreciate nicely, congratulations to all of them, and I wish them all the best. I do think that Chainlink's going to make a nice run. I just think that I'm going to find some better opportunities, but Chainlink's there. Uniswap was explaining, basically how institutions are confused, thinking that there's less liquidity in a decentralized environment. But actually, at times, she mentioned that we're seeing more liquidity and better liquidity on decentralized exchanges than some of the centralized exchanges. Now, don't tell that to Wall Street, and don't the exchanges might take you out for saying that because they don't want you to ruin their business. Where this goes, if you want it to go, is where you are your own bank and you have your full control. But for mass retail adoption, we need them to have an app on their phone that's simple and easy to use. For us, we're never going to buy the ETFs. And I'm going to talk about the ETFs here soon. We had additional ETFs moving forward here today for XRP, right? This is where our grandmas are going to call up and tell their broker, hey, can you give me some exposure to some of that XRP, please? My grandson's been telling me that it's a nice little move. And so, that's how they're going to get exposure. You got folks that are going to buy crypto through their bank account, or custody, buy it and custody it at their bank. And then you have some of us that are going to literally become our own banks. We're going to be providing our liquidity for other people to use. We're going to be tapping into the AMMs. We're going to be tapping into DeFi protocols. We're going to be lending our assets to others. We are going to become our own banks. And this is the point that I was making today. I did a quick TikTok, little quick video. And I did a green screen with the ETF news behind me. And basically just reminding everybody, we have a once in a lifetime opportunity to front run institutions. This is something that never happens. There's never really an opportunity to front run institutions, at least in our modern era of finance and financial markets. This is not like, it's not a once in a generation opportunity. It's not once in a lifetime. This doesn't happen ever. It didn't happen with the third industrial revolution. It didn't happen with other technology revolutions. This has never happened, ever. And who knows if it ever will. I mean, it's tough to say never. I tried to say that XRP was never going to go below $2, and boy, did I get smacked on that one, right? But you get my point. Now, continuing on here, I do see that we have a couple super chats. I want to load these up real quick and make sure I don't get too far behind on our super chats. I will be taking Q&A tonight as well. Silo Sean says, I'm Canadian and my wife is American. Tempted to get her to open a bank account in Watertown to avoid Canadian taxes on my sexy portfolio. You got to do whatever it takes. Absolutely. And this is something that I've been considering myself as well too. I'm in the process of moving some of my digital assets into an entity that's outside of my state, because my state has implemented a capital gains tax of 7% on anything over 250,000. So I could take 249,000 profit this bull run, and I won't have to pay any of that capital gains tax to the state. But there's no way in hell I'm going to pay any capital gains tax to this state that is being run straight into the ground. Not only did we have to enjoy, 2 terms there with Jay Inslee, we are so stupid and we like shooting ourselves in the foot that we actually elected our Attorney General, Bob Ferguson. Don't get me started. So there's no way in hell I'm going to be paying that capital gains tax to the state of Washington, and I'm in the process right now of moving some of my digital assets to entities outside of this state. For those of you guys in a jurisdiction that is going to hit you, I mean, up in Canada, we need to come liberate you guys up there, because Canada is struggling. Canada. Shout out to my Canadians in the chat. I'm hoping that we can come liberate you. Whether we make you the 51st state or what, I don't know. I don't know how we do it, but somebody needs saving up there. Hey, Colin, thank you for the 20 spot. Portfolio prices drop, yet costs are also coming down, including debt and waste. What happened a year into Trump's first term? Dip, then all-time high about a year later. Ignore chop, endure churn. We're building a base on the moon soon. Colin, that's exactly it. We saw gold and silver did incredibly well during the first Trump administration. We saw crypto did incredibly well during the first Trump administration as well. And similar to what happened in 2020, I've been saying that this is a V-shaped recovery. I don't care what it is. DeepSeek AI is the black swan. Okay, we're going to V-shape. Trade war, that was a black swan. And it got buttoned up quickly, but it could come back, right? These deals, these suspension and pause of the trade war tariffs is only for 30 days. So this could present itself as another black swan down the road. We could talk about debt zone. We could talk about dozens and dozens of other things that could wreck our markets and justify, and basically the market's already been looking for a reason to justify a market correction for the broader stock market, that is. And no matter what it is, though, what's going to V-shape recovery out of it, it's going to be the assets that did the best the first time around during 2020, which was crypto, and I believe the precious metals as well, too. Now, the high-flying tech stocks, I don't know. That bubble might have popped, and that bubble might be done, and we might see that rotation finally into small caps and real value companies that are still going to stick around, especially if Trump is giving us a tax-free break on U.S., made in U.S. products, no cap gains on U.S.-based cryptocurrencies. We're going to see a boom in this country of activity. Now, as I mentioned, Wisdom Tree, Bitwise, and 21 Shares XRP ETFs have been filed with the SBOE today. Eleanor Terrett with the scoop and the breakdown. These are the 19B4 forms, and they are the next step in the ETF approval process after issuers file their S1s. The 19B4 basically asks the SEC to allow them to list and trade the prospective ETFs. Once the SEC acknowledges receipt of the filing, a 240-day window opens for it to either approve or deny the products. Let me pause real quick. I don't think that this SEC is going to be dragging their feet for 240 days. They have that option, but this SEC is not one that's working against the American people. This new SEC is going to be working on behalf of the American people every single day. This is going to be wrapped up. This is going to be done much sooner than that. Much sooner than that. I would cut it in half. I think you got 100 days. Where we're at right now is we're waiting for Paul Atkins to be confirmed as the chair. Now, somebody asked me today in the comments what the timeline is on that. Well, they just stalled out Kash Patel, the FBI director, another week. They're trying to stop the inevitable. It's just like the lawsuits that they filed for Doge going into USAID and basically cutting USAID. All these other lawsuits that they're filing in regards to the federal agencies. They're trying to stop the inevitable. It's not going to work. It's just like them delaying Kash Patel's confirmation hearing another week. It's not going to work. And they can try to drag out Paul Atkins. It's funny because Paul Atkins in the SEC chair, that's not even supposed to be a political position, but I'm sure that they'll find a way to still make it political. I'm sure that they'll find a way to, nag Paul Atkins about making sure that companies give a climate disclosure, right? And that they sign up for the Green New Deal, right? They're going to reprimand the SEC incoming chair on how our capital markets should be more focused on being woke than actually being the gold standard of capital markets like we've had for so long. Okay, so let me keep it moving here. We got another super chat here from James Hall, 5-spot. What's up with that space on X today talking about spoons and stuff? I dipped out right after you. Weird. Deep dive Velo. Deep dive Velo is coming, James. I haven't taken any look at Velo, actually. A lot of people have been asking me about that one. But yeah, man, I made a comment about that in the short TikTok that I recorded earlier today. I said, I'm trying to get away from the Bitcoin maxis in this drama between Bitcoin and XRP. Like, I don't care for it anymore. We have the solution. You tokenize Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. You settle it in 3 to 5 seconds at no cost. And the sooner Bitcoin does this and leans into this and accepts this and gives into this, the better for Bitcoin. It might actually be able to stick around for a while. But they're fighting it so hard. And like I said, so I'm trying to avoid this. I'm not trying to talk about this Bitcoin Maxi versus XRP talk anymore. But I'm scrolling through Twitter earlier today, and I see Peter McCormick, who I believe was the founder or part of Bitcoin Magazine. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's big in the Bitcoin community, has a big podcast. And I see a clip of him crying about Ripple and XRP. And it was because he had a guest on who said that he threw a little bit of money at XRP and he made, he'd like tripled and made like a 4X on it. And Peter, huffing and puffing and crying about it. It's like, man, I'm trying to avoid this Bitcoin maxi tears. I can't get away from the Bitcoin maxi tears. So I turn on Twitter. They're crying on the feed. I see an XRP community space. Oh, XRP family. Let me hop in. Let's turn up on Twitter with the XRP family. And who's in there? One of the biggest XRP trolls that's been around for years. And he's in there yelling at people. I don't even know what he's yelling about. I'm like, what's going on here right now? I'm trying to get away from these guys, and everywhere I look, they come out from around the corners just crying. What is happening? And they're trying to derail our conversations, talking about forking the ledger and trying to be funny. And I'm like, you got these guys when we're not even trying to keep this thing alive. We're not trying to keep this thing going. We have, and the funny thing is, I'm listening to this Twitter space, to this Bitcoin maxi yelling into his phone, crying about XRP. And meanwhile, the news comes across the screen that these ETFs are moving forward. And I'm just laughing because I'm thinking, I'm listening to a grown man crying, yelling into a Twitter space. Meanwhile, the institutions in the suits, they're going to be popping champagne, getting ready to sell these products in their ETFs. And they're going to be selling this and putting together slideshow presentations. And they can't wait to present this opportunity to their investors. And meanwhile, I'm listening to a grown man crying to a Twitter space. I'm thinking, what am I doing right now? I need to get out of this space. And so, like I said, we're trying to avoid these guys. We can't get away from them everywhere we look. And I shared the clip earlier today of Jack Mallers with Jack Dorsey doing a little Bitcoin Bro podcast. And he asked him about Elon's thoughts on Bitcoin. And Jack Dorsey said that he has concerns about the speed. And anybody who's reasonable that you talk to gets it. And like I said, hey, don't take it from me. Don't take it from anybody else. The clip from the BIS that I got here today, they come out and say that it's not a unit of count. It's way too volatile. And it's not fast and efficient enough too. They said it's not fast and efficient enough. It's not tied to a unit of account. It's not going to be used. Stablecoins will be. That's what they said. So, take it from the BIS or take it from the Bitcoin maxis. Pick your fighter. Pick your fighter. And when I say pick your fighter, pick Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple that's been in the room with the BIS having these conversations, helping them understand that, yes, there are better solutions. There is another way. Or the Bitcoin bros that are still racking their brains trying to figure out how they can scale that thing up. Good luck and God bless to them. Yeah, James, you got to watch out here. Got to watch out here on these Twitter spaces. It's crazy. Dennis, thank you for the 100 spot. Ty Bot, Schwartz, right, institutional FOMO coming. Yeah, he's right about the institutional FOMO coming. Love Exceller, Ondo, and nobody appreciating Chainlink's role with DTCC. If it's there if you dive into their news. Yeah. So I should probably do an update on Chainlink because, like I said, they've been doing really well. I just didn't get in on the low. It's one of those things. I'm not going to FOMO into a project that still is probably only going to do about a 2 to 3x from the current levels, in my opinion. If I had good, if I saw some momentum and I could see that 2 to 3x coming here soon, maybe. But Chainlink has, kind of been lagging a little bit price wise. But like I said, they're in the room. I think that they have some good opportunities coming there. But yeah, I will be updating. And David Schwartz is right about the institutional adoption. 1970 Legend, thank you for the 100 spot. $50 for free shipping to Australia and $50 for you. Any other countries that are hard to ship to? Yeah, so we partnered up with this website, this group that basically they brought down our shipping costs. It was going to cost us $40 and $50 to ship to Canada, like right across in BC too. I'm right here, close by. And even if I drove across to Canada with some shirts and then sent it from a Canadian post office service, it was still going to cost us $30-$40 versus this website that we've partnered up with. We're down to $20.99 to Canada and $30.99 to Australia. And now we're going to be looking at other jurisdictions as well too, other countries. And we're going to be looking to take it worldwide eventually. This website that we've been using has been really great, though, for bringing down those fees. And so I'm hoping that we can keep it kind of in that range of $20 to $30 worldwide, although it's more than the $8 flat fee we're charging to U.S. Customers. I'm hoping that we can bring that down as low as possible. But, that's just kind of the range. That's as low as we can get it right now. But I appreciate that, 1970 Legend. I'm going to be putting together the giveaway update for our Aussies funded by you, my friend. And so I appreciate your support, and the XRP family merch it is already on its way to Australia right now as we speak. So Aussies, Canadians, yes, the merch is now available for you. Thank you. Simply Just Bullish, thank you for the 5 spot. MRGA, Make Ripple Great Again. XRP meme on First Ledger, check it out. There you go. Make Ripple great again. Ripple still is great though. Ripple still is great though. That's the problem with that meme. That's the only problem there, is that Ripple has been great. And, you know, I appreciate it, though. Simply just bullish. Thank you. Thank you. You guys in the memes are absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I did get rugged on another meme coin today. I'm not going to say which one, but oh boy. I like learning these lessons. I don't know why I have to keep on doing this to myself, but yeah, I did get wrecked on a little meme coin trade today. That's what happens when you go to the casino. And I'll make a point here real quick. I'm absolutely sick of when I pull up to the DGen spaces and I'm listening to a bunch of sissies crying about losing some money. We're at the casino. Stop crying. Okay, if you're going to be a degenerate, you got to own up to the consequences and stop trying to protect everybody. I mean, we got guys running around here trying to save everybody. No. I come to the degen space to hear degeneracy. Yeah, I'm not here to, I don't need to be protected. Okay? Maybe it's just the libertarian in me that just says, hey, to each their own. If somebody's going to go get wrecked on a meme coin like I did today, I'm not going to sit around and try to blame people and cry about it. I mean, come on. You know, you guys want a meme? How about keep spaces degen or make spaces degen again? You know, I mean, something like that. Because golly, I pull up to these spaces. I don't want to hear, hey, let's be safe. Hey, guys, be careful. I'm not here for that. Degeneracy. Come on. Dre Day, thank you for the 5 spot. Zach, been here since you had to buy XRP with ETH. I remember you being here through it all. Free pass lawsuit with FUD. You are appreciated. Much respect. Dre Day, thank you very much, guys. We've been doing this for a minute, and I still feel like we're just getting started. But we got a lot of momentum here behind this community, and I just want to say thank you for all of your support, guys. This has been incredible. Now, hey, we still got some more to cover here, so let me get back into the news here. The filing of the 19B4s does not guarantee acknowledgement or approval by the SEC, but the agency has recently acknowledged 19B4 filings from Canary and Grayscale to list and trade Litecoin ETFs. We'll see if they do the same for XRP. Like I said, this thing's going to get moving quickly here. As soon as we can get Paul Atkins in, this SEC versus Ripple case is over. We might not even have to wait for Paul Atkins to come in. I almost think my suspicion is right now that this is kind of being put on a platter for Paul Atkins is the best way I could describe it, where Paul Atkins is going to get it, he's going to be able to come in as the new acting chair. And one of the first things that he's going to be able to do with Hester Pierce and Mark Uyeda and a couple other, pro-America, pro-crypto commissioners at his side, there's 5 commissioners total, the chairman included, and he's going to be able to, announce this, that we have a new day, a new direction, the golden age of crypto is here, and we have voluntarily dismissed the SEC versus Ripple case. So people want to know, when is the case going to officially be over? Shortly after Paul Atkins gets confirmed, or maybe even before that, because Hester Pierce and Mark Uyeda, I don't know who the other commissioner is right now, but there's three active commissioners right now. They could decide to settle up this case any day. But it's my opinion and kind of my suspicion right now that they're serving this one up on a platter for Paul Atkins. He gets to come in, announce a new day, and one of his first moves is going to be signing up Ripple. It's going to be a done deal. And then the next thing that we're going to be seeing, and this might happen sooner actually than the case. Imagine this. Brad Garlinghouse gets picked to go onto the Crypto Council with David Sachs. Meanwhile, they're still in a lawsuit with the SEC. We'll be tucking that one into DAI's All the World's a Stage file, won't we? Hey, speaking of DAI, your grandkids will be talking about how you saw where XRP was going when everyone said you were crazy. List the XRP ETFs that have been filed as of today, he asked Grok. As of today, February 6, 2025, the following XRP ETFs have been filed. Bitwise, Canary, 21 shares. Wisdom Tree, Grayscale. Additionally, posts on X mention the following: ProShares, Rex and Osprey, CoinShares, Tuttle Capital, and there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot of suits that want to sell this one. I'll tell you that right now. And ProShares, they brought forward, I think, 3 ETFs. It was like short XRP, ultra short XRP, XRP long. They brought a few leveraged XRP ETFs as well, which we want that. It's going to bring more liquidity. And for these institutions to get exposure to XRP, they need to be able to hedge, right? They have a big position of XRP, so they're long XRP. On the flip side, they need to be able to make a bet. And this is where that short XRP ETF will be used. Now, I never short XRP. I have never, maybe I've shorted XRP a couple times back in the day when I traded futures. And I got wrecked when I did so. And so that's what I get. I deserve to be wrecked trying to short XRP. I also got wrecked when I went long XRP. Trading XRP with leverage, I always got wrecked. Shorting Bitcoin with 5x leverage, I only lost one time. We made good money doing that. But you got to understand from the institutional perspective and for sophisticated traders, they need to be able to have that ability to go short on these products as well. And so right here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're approaching 10, 11 ETFs already and many more on the way. Now, speaking of more coming on the way, folks better watch out here because the Tates are coming in and you're seeing, Dave from Barstool coming in. I'm not here to talk about the Tates, whether they're good guys or bad guys or whether they're model. No. Come on. That's not what this is about. I'm not here to talk about Dave Portnoy, whether you like him or don't like him. These are guys with millions of followers, for better or for worse, whether it's right or wrong, whether young men should be looking up to these guys or not. I'm not here to debate that. They have millions of followers. How many does Tristan Tate have? 3.3. 3.3 million followers. It's about exposure. It's about attention. And it's about the XRP army being in control. Check out this poll here from Tristan Tate. Your favorite crypto asset, and he throws in the U there. Okay. Your favorite crypto asset. Is it Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, or Link? XRP in a commanding lead right now, up at 50%. Bitcoin in second place at 35%. XRP army in control. Patriots in control. See, this is over. This whole, not having a level playing field, being able to dismiss XRP, ignore XRP, being able to FUD XRP. Anybody that tries to FUD XRP, the army comes out of the woodworks and we go into our closet, we go into our armory, and we pull out our shields, we pull out our swords, we put down our mask, just like the knight in the Bearable Guy pictures. We don the full suit, our knight in armor, and we go to war. And we want to be the XRP family. We want to sit back and have a good time. Sip our adult beverage here. We're trying to be friends with everybody. But like I said, anybody that tries to attack us, hey, they're asking for it. The army comes out in full force. Now, in this case, this is just about showing up and showing love. This is about the XRP family showing up. And this is what we do, is we're running things right now. Let's be very clear. Let me reiterate this. I've been saying this point. XRP's in control of this bull run. Mind you, when XRP ran up and came back down when we first ran to 290, before we broke above $3, where we just went to 290 back in December, and then XRP had its pullback, we drug down the whole market with us. Same thing took place when the SEC filed the appeal brief against Ripple. The whole market went down. And I added that tally to the red folder. When the SEC filed the appeal brief, signed off by George Tenriro, who's now no longer the chief litigator at the SEC. Now he's going to be moved over to the IT department. I saw some folks saying that he should have been moved over to the janitorial position. I got too much respect for janitors for George Tenriro to be the janitor at the SEC. I got too much respect. George Tenriro. And remember when we were told that these people wouldn't be able to walk the streets? So XRP is in control. When something bad happens to Ripple, like the appeal brief being filed, the entire market got brought back down. When good news comes out for XRP, we're watching the entire market follow up, and especially the other utility cryptocurrencies, right? XLM, XDC, and the rest. But this is what I love to see. I voted, I retweeted this out twice today. This is what we got to continue to do, is max engage. Is Tristan Tate a good guy or a bad guy? I don't care. It's the same thing with the memes. Are some people going to make money? Some people going to lose money? Yes. What do we want? Adoption, usage. And ultimately, folks are going to come in for the memes and they're going to stay for all the money. Folks are going to come in for the memes and they're going to stay for real utility. Now, what we're watching right now, let me pull up this next clip, is the setup that we've seen historically right before we blast off into a massive alt season. This time around, are we going to see that general, broad, massive alt season? I don't think so. I think that this time is going to be different. And in this opportunity, if you're in the utility assets that have staying power, I think that not only are they going to perform well, they're actually going to hold up very well on the downside as well too. We're seeing projects and we're seeing mass capitulation on a lot of altcoins right now. On Twitter today, I was just seeing a bunch of feedback of people saying that they've never seen capitulation like this on people's altcoin bags ever. This didn't happen like this back during the 2017, and they made the caveat during bull runs. During bear markets, people, just jeet their entire bag and get out of whatever they can and pull out as much cash as possible out of crypto during the bear markets, right? Because they get scared. This is during a bull run. We're in the middle of a bull run and folks are in full capitulation mode over some alts, which I would be too, because a lot of these altcoins, 90% of these projects, don't have real adoption. They don't have anything cooking, anything that's significant or worth mentioning. So I would capitulate, but I never went into those bags in the first place. Now, we're about to see an alt season explosion, but it's not going to be like 2021. It's not going to be everything going up. I mean, generally speaking, yes, but there's going to be bigger winners and there are going to be big losers too. Now, even Scottie Pippen here gets it. And if Scottie Pippen can get it, for crying out loud, what is stopping you? He says, I'm just a bull that's bullish on Bitcoin, innovative altcoins, and the power of community. The real bull run is coming. Stay ready so you never have to get ready. And I don't know where he pulled this. This looks like it was posted by the Crypto Rover down here. But you can see the same thing happen in 2017. Same thing happened in 2021. Same thing's happening right now. And we are going to move. And I believe, and I talked about this in my HBAR deep dive, that the entire cryptocurrency space is probably going to be topping out at about 5 to 6 trillion this bull run. I would love to see it extend up higher, and I would love to be wrong and see it go to 9 or 10 trillion. I just don't think it happens. I think that we're going to, we're on pace to about double up the high from 2021, which was 3 trillion. So this time around, Brad Garlinghouse said 5 trillion by the end of 2024. That didn't happen, but I think we're heading in that direction. And so we're going to do about 5 to 6 trillion this year. And you're going to see how much dominance your particular altcoin is able to amass, whether that be HBAR, and I broke that down in my HBAR deep dive, whether that be XRP, which with historical dominance levels on XRP, I mean, people don't think it's possible for XRP to do this, but we've done it before. And with the size of this overall space, if we are going to bring in that much liquidity, and with what we've seen on our market cap multipliers, and with what we're now adding, something that's never been present before for XRP, and our thesis on XRP has been the ETFs. We asked the question, who's going to be willing to buy our XRP from us at $5, $10, $15, $20? It's going to be ETF buyers that can finally, get exposure to these assets comfortably. That's who's going to be the buyers. It's going to be, institutions. Once again, not just a once in a lifetime, really a once in history of mankind opportunity to front run institutions. And then the institutions are going to set everything up for mass adoption. And people will be using the XRP ledger without even knowing that they're using it. That's where this goes. And we're still in the front run institution phase. Maybe you could say that opportunity is passed up now that we are getting the ETFs, now that we are seeing institutions on board. That opportunity, though, that we've had for the past 6-7 years Many of us in this space, some of you guys even longer, we had a once in a lifetime opportunity to front run these institutions who are now going to be selling it harder than us. I won't even have to do YouTube anymore because the suits are going to be selling it for me. Let me refresh us here. Now, this is the last point that I'm going to share with you guys before I open it up for Q&A. From Dom Trader View on X. People keep accumulating XRP at a rapid rate. Look at the wallet count holding greater than 100 XRP over the last year. It has gone parabolic. Why is this interesting? Well, it's not the case for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So like I said, not all altcoins are created equal. And in the case of Bitcoin, although some people don't call it an altcoin, it might end up being an altcoin down the road. But whether, no matter what term or, no matter what we want to call it, this is the data that I'm watching that keeps me as bullish as ever, that keeps me putting out content that's XRP hype, not because I'm just trying to fluff this thing up and because, I'm trying to make a buck, but because we're watching the on-chain metrics. We're getting the data. We're reading the Q4 market report from Ripple, which speaks of 400% increase in wallets, 14x increase in activity. This is an explosion of activity. And relatively speaking, the rate at which we're growing is faster than any AMM has ever grown before. We're way behind Solana. We're way behind Ethereum and Uniswap. But the rate at which we're catching up has never been seen before. The rate at which RLUSD is growing has never been seen before. When I actually talked about this about a month or so ago, and maybe I need to bring this up again to remind people how long it took Tether to get to $1 billion market cap. If I recall correctly, it was years. It took a long time. Basically, they launched in like 2015, 2016 or something. They didn't get up to $1 billion market cap until the middle of 2017 bull run. It took them a while. And meanwhile, with RLUSD, this might happen in less than a year. The rate at which XRP is catching up, and it was funny because on the stage today with Ondo Summit, David Schwartz, Uniswap, and these other guys, they were all trying to say that they're the leading DeFi platforms. Uniswap said how they're the leading DeFi or leading AMM. And it wasn't the Chainlink guy, but it was the other guy. Who was the other guy on stage? It was David Schwartz, Sergey from Chainlink, the gal from Uniswap, and there was one more. And he was saying how they were the leaders in DeFi. And I was just thinking, oh boy, you're presenting a nice little challenge for us in the XRP community and for David Schwartz, who's up on stage there, probably thinking to himself, well, if only you guys had been paying attention to all the amendments we're adding to the XRP ledger, we're adding and we're seeing an explosion of DeFi on the XRP ledger. So the lead that some of these other chains did have and that they still have is nice. We can appreciate that. And congratulations to all the holders that made money on those projects. But we are rapidly catching up when it comes to our AMM, the total value lock on our chain. When it comes to Ripple's stablecoin, now is going to be the leading stablecoin on our platform. When it comes to real world asset tokenization, I believe we're going to be a leader. I don't know if we'll ever become the leader in memes. My apologies. I don't know if we'll ever become the leader in memes, but we do now have memes, right? But without a doubt, and what matters the most in my opinion, is that we are the leaders when it comes to onboarding institutions and getting institutions to actually use our token. We definitely are the leaders in that camp. And for that reason, I titled this episode XRP Mass Enterprise Adoption, because that's where we're at right now. While folks are looking at a 5-minute chart freaking out, while folks are worried because they got too leveraged into XRP, because they took their rent money and invested in an XRP at $3, thinking that it was going to $6 tomorrow. Okay. Just like Stu said the other day in that interview, the short-term price action is nothing more than distraction. The SEC versus Ripple case is nothing more than noise. And for those that can see through that, like Brad Garlinghouse said, commenting on the AI crypto czar David Sachs press conference, People are missing the forest through the trees because they were wanting the Bitcoin reserve announcement, because they were wanting David Sachs to pump up their crypto. And we didn't get that, but folks are missing that we have politicians and the cryptos are talking about creating an internet of value, a term that Ripple did create. And they did come up with that. I can't find anybody that started using that term before Ripple. Now, as we've been saying, is Ripple going to DC and telling Trump and telling, David Sachs and everybody involved there that it should only be Ripple and XRP? Absolutely not. We know that there's going to be a multi-chain world, and there's many opportunities here for people who can bring real value and real utility. And we see folks getting shaken out, and it's really sad to see. I know for you guys that just come, maybe you come in, you tune into my shows, and you don't read all the comments, you probably don't get to see it. And you don't care for me to really comment on this because you're content in your bags. And I am too, right? The markets were down today. I don't look at the charts. I don't pull out my calculator and tally up how much I lost today. I took the kids sledding today. I got myself a little workout in today. I took care of some business today. And I made sure money was still coming in today, despite getting rugged on a meme coin. I did lose some money today too. Well, by my own doing. You win some, you lose some. But we were in the game. And I encourage you guys to get to that spot too, where you can either, sit back and understand that this is a long-term investment, or you can do that while also simultaneously, getting in here and putting in the work to find new opportunities, new cryptos, growing your business, getting your workout in, spending time with whatever you need to do. If you can't stomach it, step outside. Touch some grass, build a snowman, do something, okay? With that being said, let's run up the chat here. Can you guys drop your comments, questions? Let's go rapid fire with it. Let me check a couple super chats in the house here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Ncog Neo, thank you for the 5 spot. Do you have an LLC yet? If so, at what dollar value do you recommend, and who did you go through? I'm going to be doing this myself, and also looking at there's some basically there's companies within these states that will help you set up. I'm in the process of this right now. Dennis, thank you. Imagine the DTCC's 3 quadrillion running yearly on the XRPL. XRP has the legal clarity. Banks and brokers require DTCC. Just said other tokens to be used. And that's the scale that we're talking about that's hard to even wrap your mind around. And that's why it's so funny, because people are talking about, so-and-so project, XRP can't go here because of market cap. It can't go here because it would need $1 trillion to come in. And it's like, I don't think you quite understand where we're going with these markets. Where we're going with this is trillions, hundreds of trillions, and quadrillions running on these networks. That's where this goes. So, folks are talking about, we can't do this because this would be the value of the entire stock market. Well, this is bigger than the entire stock market. This is not comparable to the stock market. And so you can have a TradeFi mentality like Mike Novogratz and others, which are now having to come full circle and admit that they were wrong about XRP. And one of the reasons that he cited for why he was hesitant to get into XRP and why he thought it would fail was because he thought that it just wasn't possible with Ripple holding 60% of the supply. And then now it's 50%. And he thought that there's no way that would work. But what he failed to do was to actually listen to Brad Garlinghouse, actually listen to Ripple, and watch what they do, not what they say. Actually go read the reports and go look at the on-chain data that confirmed for us that Ripple was not going to be dumping this supply, that Ripple was only selling off this supply of XRP to their institutional partners. So if Mike Novogratz could have broken free from that traditional finance mindset, he wouldn't have been wrong about XRP. Or maybe he wasn't stupid. Maybe he was trying to shill Luna. Maybe he was trying to shill Ethereum. Maybe he was trying to shill Solana. That's your answer. Because these guys aren't stupid. So they come around now and they try to be nice. They try to be friendly. Oh, I just didn't get it. I couldn't quite wrap my mind around this one. Even though Mike Novogratz and his insiders would control 50 to 60% of the coins that they were going to dump on your butt. See, when it's the VC gang that gets the pump and dump it, then it makes sense. When it's a responsible custodian of a reserve currency like Ripple, they don't get it. They're not in on it, so they don't get it. They're playing dumb. And that don't work with us. We know better. Now, I see another one here. What do we got? Let's take a look at it. Mark, thank you. Hey, bro, you have an extra XRP Vegas ticket. I got airfare, etc. Need a cameraman. I'm by Edmonds, by the way. Mark, I appreciate you. I wish I did. I wish I did have some extra XRP Las Vegas tickets. I actually need to go secure my tickets. I've been procrastinating on that. But I am going to be making that happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. And XRP Las Vegas this year is going to be lit. And speaking of XRP Las Vegas, I see some of the Sigma community in the house. They decided to sponsor the XRP Las Vegas event, and that is awesome. And then Zen Warrior, one of the community members there, he actually made a NFT picture of me. And so I am immortalized in the Sigma culture, they say. So that was pretty cool. And then he actually clipped up a nice little video. I was going to play it. I don't know if it has copyright. I'm gonna check as part of another video. Maybe I'll show you guys in another video and see if it is copyright-free music, or maybe I'll ask him. But he put together a nice little, a cool little edit. And so shout out to the Sigma guys. They're going to be in XRP Las Vegas too. I still don't own Sigma. I am going to get some. But I haven't pulled the trigger yet. It's on the way. Dennis, thank you. I asked Claver, and he said he thought DTCC would use XRP, not XDC, and listed solid reasons. That is a change from DTCC 2022 info. Yeah. Similar to like R3 and R3 Corda went with the blockchain agnostic approach. I tend to think that a lot of these are going to go with a blockchain agnostic approach, but what's gonna be the blockchain that gets the most amount of the share of that pie? It's like the Mega 10 crypto index that Van Eck just created. Van Eck just created a Mega America, crypto 10 top 10 cryptos in America index. I don't know why I was stuttering over that so much, but basically XRP gets 50% of the share. 50% of the allocation goes towards XRP. So I think that you're going to see something similar with the DTCC and these other networks and these other groups, where Swift is not going to come out and just accept XRP, but XRP will be interoperable. And is XRP going to get the biggest piece of that pie? That's always been my bet. That's always been my thesis, is that this is a blockchain agnostic multi-chain world, and many of these platforms are going to stay blockchain agnostic. But, there's only one coin to rule them all. There's always a number one, right? There's always a number one. Let me check here. Rapid fire Q&A. Let's go, guys. Drop those comments, questions. I'm on the chat right now. Thanks for keeping us updated on all the changes. I listen every day. When you know, you know. Yes, I appreciate you. And I'll make a comment too, because folks tell me, who the hell has 2.5 hours to listen? It's not my problem. I get it. Why do you think I drop updates every single day that I try to keep under 20 minutes? There's a lot of news to talk about, right? So I try to put out updates every single day. A 10 to 20 minute YouTube update, maybe one, maybe two. I try to put out a TikTok or two. I go live for TikTok for 2 hours. I go live on YouTube for 2 hours. If you don't have 2 hours to listen, that's not my problem. If you don't think it's worth your time, that's fine too. Just leave a comment and let me know that. Max engage for me. I get it. I mean, shoot. I don't spend 2.5 hours listening to anybody else talk. So I mean, I get it. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. My adult beverage is full. I get going and I forget to sip it. So I got to be here for a while. Do you think that the Japan reverse carry trade has started? Yes, and it never got fixed. So much of this liquidity crisis on the back end, the banking crisis on the back end, the reverse carry trade, it's not getting fixed. They keep kicking the can down the road. And I actually saw that the bond yields were coming down today, which is just crazy to me because I love what's happening in our country and the shift that we're making. But I don't like what's happening in our country, and I don't like President Trump enough to loan him and loan the U.S. government money for 10 years, or even a short term, a two year bond at 4%. I'm not loaning the government money at all, and definitely not at 4%. That's crazy to me. But I think that the Japan carry trade is still gonna pop. It's still gonna blow up. Yeah, because Japan is raising rates. And although it's by small amounts relative to where they had rates at, basically negative rates, it's popping the Japan carry trade. We just can't. We're starting to see it. It's starting to slip through the cracks. And back in August, when we did have the Japan carry trade unwind start to happen, the Fed came out and said that they were going to backstop us with buying $50 billion worth of bonds. It's like I said, this stuff doesn't get reported. You will not see this on mainstream news. You definitely won't see this on crypto shows, right? I mean, there's a few other people that will be talking about economics, financial markets more broadly. But very people talk about the Japan carry trade. Very few people understand what it is. And basically what it was you could get cheap debt in Japan, way cheaper than everywhere else because their rates were zero. And then you could get a loan in Japan and then come to the United States, roll it into basically a risk-free treasury bill at 5% and make 4.5-5% on that margin, basically risk-free. That's what the Japan carry trade was, but it grew and it basically was on steroids. We've never seen anything like it. And so as they've started their rate hike cycle and we started to cut rates, this is what made the Japan carry trade pop in August. It's not fixed. It will come back. How do you protect yourself? Not that you need a Trump coin. Not that you necessarily need to have Trump's face on your silver. But this is how you protect yourself right here. Right here, this is what we put for defense, along with our gold, and cash. It's a liquidity crisis. So for crying out loud, for heaven's sake, please do not go all in with your rent money, your lunch money, and what you need to feed your family on crypto in the middle of a liquidity crisis. We act surprised when we get ourselves into trouble and our crypto doesn't pump today when the rest of the world is on fire right now. And we're asking, why is my meme coin not pumping? Why is my crypto coin not going up? Step outside, take a look around, okay? There's some problems out there. There's some wars going on. We got a trade war going on now. It's going to be interesting to see. We've already seen these other countries are folding rather quickly. We see that President Trump and his Ukraine deal, I mentioned that at the very beginning of this episode. We could fix this. This could be a smooth transition. This absolutely could be a smooth transition. But the enemy isn't allowing it to be. That's what we're up against. I mean, we're going through World War III, liquidity crisis, serious problems back home. But why didn't my Mickey Mouse coin pump today? If this doesn't 10x by tomorrow, I'm homeless, Zach. What's your pay price to action? That's what my mentor Dan Pena would say. What's your pay price to action? Meaning, what are you willing to sacrifice? And like I said at the very beginning, I have empathy for those who are trying to get on the right side of the transfer of wealth. It's not easy. Despite reducing regulations, taxes, and everything good that's going on, you still got to take action. Yes, don't forget the aliens. Thank you for reminding me, Dennis. Thank you. Loving the shirt, Zach. Thank you. Gator Gang, thank you. This will be uploaded to the website next week, okay? Yep, this will be uploaded next week to the website and available for you guys, okay? The chances of us going back to a gold standard are very, a lot better than they were. I think that we're going back to a gold standard in a digital form. I really like the idea from Judy Shelton, the 50-year gold bonds that the U.S. government can sell. It would be a way to monetize our gold, and these would be bonds that would be redeemable in gold. But basically, 50-year gold bonds to be launched on the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, which is next year, July 4th. I'm a big fan of that. Now, is that going to a gold standard? Not necessarily. We need to back our dollar with real merit, whether that be gold. I think that Trump's big on gold, and I definitely could see it. Really all we have to do is just revalue our gold at the current price. The gold in our vaults is all valued at $40 per ounce, I believe. And so if we just revalued gold while it goes up to 3,000, and I think that you're going to see gold actually go up a lot higher during the second Trump administration. This is why I don't get into the hypothetical debates about what should we pay back our debt with without knowing whether or not Trump's even going to pay back the debt. And one of the things that he can do that would really help us would be to revalue that gold right away. I mean, there's no reason why it should be valued at $40 in the vault when we're well past that. It's not even close. It's not like we have to worry about revaluing the gold at $50 and then next week gold could drop back down to $40 or $30. And how could you possibly value our gold and keep it correlated to real-time price? Right? That's what we need to do. I don't know why we have to keep it at some sort of set rate. I'm sure that there was some law or the way that it was done. It was set up in some way where it had to be set at a certain price and it couldn't change. And really, it was set at a price back when we did have the gold standard, right? That's what it was supposed to be set at a price for. Now, there is no set price. There is no correlation. There is no backing. And we need to get back to that. I would like to see it happen in digital form. And I commented today on Twitter about how this whole nonsense about, debating basically Bitcoin versus gold. Bitcoin has the advantage now because it is tokenized and it can be moved freely. It is liquid to an extent, not efficiently, not cheap, but it is liquid. And it has characteristics that gold doesn't as far as that efficiency of transportability. That game's over as soon as gold gets tokenized by legitimate issuers at scale. There already is people working to tokenize gold on the XRP ledger right now. We need legitimate issuers to do it at scale, and then this conversation's over. Because you have the store of value components that have been proven over thousands of years, and it's tokenized on a chain, and if you put it on a chain like XRP or the equivalent, you're moving it in 3 to 5 seconds at no cost. It blows Bitcoin away. And Bitcoin loses its competitive advantage that it has over the real gold. So how does it keep the narrative of digital gold going when it's no longer more liquid and efficient and has more transportability than gold? That's the only real difference between the two. Gold, physical gold in your possession is immutable. It is decentralized. It is portable to an extent. As soon as it gets done and tokenized up, it's game over. It's absolutely game over. 9 trillion debt matures this year. Have no idea how they're going to pay for it. I question. I really question how this all gets restructured. Now, you don't have to answer this question because I don't want you guys to put this out there, but you got a lot of people calling for a tax holiday. You got a lot of people that are saying there ain't no way. Ain't no way. I mean, how? When we're doing musicals in countries around the world, I mean, we don't even know where our money's going. I mean, how long, if we didn't have Doge and their little crazy guys working around the clock with the AI, this probably would have taken any normal group years to figure out where all of our money was going. Thank goodness we have these guys that are going to be working around the clock, programming AI to sift through all of our departments and figure this out. Otherwise, I mean, you want to talk about a great use of AI? This is one of the best that I've seen so far. This is one of the best uses of AI that I have seen so far. You can program the models to go through all the transactions, all the spending, all the connections. Now, the other thing too, now Cornstar says gold is keeping my portfolio up. This is exactly why we love this diversification between the two assets. Now, they've been pretty well correlated, but recently, when crypto just had its biggest liquidity event ever, and we got absolutely wrecked in crypto, gold and silver actually held and actually went up a little bit. This is why I like the diversification, not into 100 different cryptos, but I like to diversify myself amongst the asset classes. And this is why I'm going to be taking profit on XRP this bull run so that I can make an allocation into the real estate asset class. And the timing of this should work out well because, see, it's not just the diversification. What it is going to do here, as far as how I see this set up right now, is I'll be taking profits on cryptos, not just XRP, but my other cryptos, and I'll be rolling it into the real estate asset class as it's going through a historical correction. Is it going to be as bad as the great financial crisis of 07, 08 for real estate? Maybe not. The dynamics for real estate have drastically changed. I saw a stat yesterday on mortgage demand is at its lowest rate in 30 years. I've reported on this already. But if you go back and look at what the average price of a home was in 1994, when you go back and you look at the population of America in 1994, I mean, it is drastic. Let me see here real quick. Oh, I'm disconnected. Okay. My internet's disconnected right now, but somebody can fact check me on what the population was in 1994. It's crazy to think about, and it really puts into perspective how dead our real estate market is from a volume perspective. Now, don't get this twisted. There are still markets that are actually going up. It's because of the lack of supply. And that's the big dynamic that has changed right now. And this is what puts it into perspective as to how dead and slow the real estate market is moving. The fact that we have way more people in this country and the mortgage demand is at the lowest level in 30 years. That data point alone tells you how dead it is out there. But like I said, because I've diversified myself amongst here, we're protecting ourselves with precious metals. We got cryptos on our risk on side of our portfolio, obviously. But then the next allocation that I'm going to be making is to real estate, and it looks like this will time out really well because real estate's already correcting in some markets, and I think that this will continue further as long as we have this dynamic where the Fed leaves rates here. As long as the Fed's leaving rates here, as long as our bond market is still up at these levels, the real estate reset will continue. Alpha 3D, $5. Appreciate you. Speaking of real estate, what's your thoughts on Proppy? I've seen it. I haven't done a deep dive. I feel like I'm so late to it that it might not be an opportunity. That's just my like vibe, my initial feel on it. But it looks like they're doing a lot of legit stuff. Right? Just because I miss it, don't let that keep you from making your money on it if you've already been in it. For me, I'm not in Proppy. The thing is that there's a lot of people that are looking to token. I mean, the flavor of the day is tokenization of real world assets. And so, like I said the other day, I don't need anybody to tell me that they're going to tokenize RWAs on their chain. Everybody is. Show me what RWAs you are going to tokenize on your chain or have tokenized on your chain. Let's not talk about it. Let's not say that we're going to be an RWA chain. Everybody's saying that. Show me. And that is kind of how I feel about the tokenization of real estate too. There's a lot of people trying to do it. So, you know, how much does it translate over into it goes to blockchain, it gets tokenized, but are you going to necessarily need a token to be involved? In some of these utilities, you don't need a token. I don't know enough about Proppy to speak on it, but it probably is one that I should take a look at because I know it's been around for a while. And from what I've seen, they do have a considerable amount of traction. As far as what their token has done price-wise, I don't know. 263 million in 1994. Thank you, Matt. And that's what puts it into perspective. Our mortgage demand with 340 million people, which is the official number. Let me know if you guys believe this official number, that the United States population is only 340 million. And we're at the same level of mortgage demand as we were in 1994 when we had 260 million people. So we have nearly 100 million people, depending on how much they've lied about the migration. We're approaching 100 million more people than we were 30 years ago. And that's why I say that some markets aren't going to have big corrections. Some markets aren't going to crash. Some markets are still going up, and they've been going up. And it's because they're quality markets and there's a lack of supply. That's basically the main dynamic that we're seeing on markets that are still going up. Now, for you guys, maybe you're going to take profit and you're going to go into your business. You're going to start a side hustle. You're going to invest in private equity. That's another one that I'm going to be moving into as well. You're going to invest in real estate, whatever it's going to be. I want you guys to make sure that you have your plan in place and that you're building on your education within that asset class. Don't think that you're just going to be able to slide into being a real estate investor, passive income, 4-hour work week, kicking it up on the beach, sipping Mai Tais, and then everything's going to go hunky-dory and you're just going to be the millionaire next door doing a 4-hour work week. Now, you very well could, and especially if you set it up by being partnered up with the right professionals, then you very well could. It could be all automated. We got the AI. We got the tools. You put in a good property manager. You partnered up with good contractors. It could be 4-hour work week with you kicked up at the beach sipping Mai Tais. It could be. But I think that a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be that without putting in the work and the education and developing the partnerships and relationships to get you there. I think that a lot of people think that they're going to start a business and a side hustle and they end up failing. And it's not that I think that, it's the hard data. 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Out of the ones that survive there, they fail. And about 90% of those ones fail in the next 5 years. So 99% of businesses fail in the first 10 years. Now, as someone who has ran a business, who is coming up on our 10-year anniversary, I know how hard it is. It ain't easy. And the beautiful thing is that I started my business with a safety net. I started my business while I had a full-time job. Worked at my job for a year, took the leap of faith after 1 year, went headfirst in the business and never looked back. And just like I do right now on trading cryptos, I didn't win them all. I lost my ass on some of those first jobs that I did back in the day. Just smacked up. You want to talk about losing money? Boy. But I'll tell you what, some of those projects, the ones that I lost money on, I'll tell you this, every one of the jobs that I lost money on, I still was able to walk away from the job proud of what I did. Yeah, it took me 2 weeks to build that paver patio, and I thought I was going to make a killing at whatever it was, 5 or 10 grand. And here we are a month later, still finishing up the job. We didn't make a dime, but I learned how to put down a paver patio on $1 million home. And that's a skill that stays with you. And so that's the approach that I've taken to my investing, experience as well too. And you build up that muscle, you build up that tolerance, and eventually you get to a spot there where you are, not necessarily invincible, but you just don't let any setbacks stop you from moving forward. I think back about those moments. You're on your hands and knees in the middle of a job, sweating bullets, no money in your bank because I invested all of it in XRP. No money in the bank, and you're working on a job that you're not going to get a dime, you're not going to profit a dime for. But I treated my first business as an education. I didn't go to school. I didn't go get an MBA. But I got something that's a hell of a lot more valuable than an MBA. It's called 10 years of pounding pavement and hustling the streets. Losing my butt on jobs that I thought, whoa, we just sold a $20,000 landscape install. 2 months later, wrecked. And so I share that with you guys to say, hey, if you have taken a loss on a couple cryptos there, don't let it hold you back. If you've taken some losses on your business, if your girlfriend left you, don't let it hold you back. Don't let it stop you from moving forward. Okay? It's very simple. I work every single day to bring value to my community. I did so in my property service business. Now I get to do it at a much bigger scale here in this media business. But it's the same principles that got me here are the ones that we started with. And 10 years later, here we are and we're still kicking. And I bring this back to the main point that I was making of you need to invest in your education before you think you're going to move in and be the hotshot real estate investor, before you move into thinking you're going to do the 4-hour work week, to thinking that you're going to make passive income on anything. Now, the beautiful thing is with these assets and with our investments, we will be able to find passive investment opportunities that will be sustainable, that will be able to bring us yield. But for a lot of, we find folks that are in that phase of, I need to protect my nest egg. I got the M's in the bank account, like the kids say. And then we got folks that are, hey, how do I stack I got my first $500 to invest in crypto. I say, well, that's easy. We pick a few cryptos and we move. And what you need to get back to is stacking another $500. People are focused on being the most sophisticated investor and they don't have a pot to piss in, like my mentor Dan Pena would say. Let's get a pot to piss in first before we worry about being the next Warren Buffett. And we're all in a different spot, right? But what I love about this community is that we got people that are willing to help each other. And the thing about XRP family is that a lot of us come from businesses, a lot of us come from already wealth outside of XRP. And so this community has been nothing but encouraging. Every time I've seen people bring up ideas, and maybe it's not going to be the one, but at least nobody's shutting down others in our community that I see. Everybody's lifting each other up. And everybody's talking about what they're going to be doing to give back too. Most of the conversation in the XRP family is not about which Lambo are you going to pick. It's about, hey, what business are you going to start? What charity are you going to run? And I've just noticed that over the time that I've been in the XRP community, we've really distinguished ourselves in that fashion. Alaska oil field loves you, Zach. You know, there's nothing I love more than just hearing from where you guys are coming in from all across the world. We got people in the oil field in Alaska tuning in. We got people around the world all over the place tuning into this show. It's so motivating. Somebody said they lost their girlfriend. It happens. It happens. Property One says spitting facts right now. Yeah. Yep. Let's go back to rapid fire Q&A. Your clock on your shelf needs a new battery. Oh, it probably does. Actually, I was trying to think if I ever... No, I did end up putting a battery in it. I had left it at 10 and 2 for the memes, for the riddle. I know we got a riddle back in the day. It was like the 10 and the 2 clock. For those of you guys in the XRP riddles, you'll know what I'm talking about. I had it at the 10 and the 2. Now it's at 11 and 2. I'm going to have to fix that. We're getting ready to, I'm getting ready to actually revamp the background again too. We're going to switch up the office a little bit. Yep, New Zealand, Australia in the house. Thank you. I can tell by some of the comments you got some Australians. Yeah, we got a lot of Aussies. Zach is my #1 channel in my crypto watch list. I appreciate that. Big B. I appreciate you. Anything else? Anything else? Where are we at? Over an hour and a half. I don't know. Probably not gonna do the full 2 hours show here tonight. Let's go a few more minutes rapid fire Q&A. Last questions. Any other deep dives that you guys would like to see? And just let me plug real quick a quick word from our sponsor, which is yours truly. Can you please smack it for me? Thank you. That's your note from the sponsor tonight. Just please smack it. You guys know all the rest. I don't need to repeat myself. I would encourage you guys, though. I will say this. Check your relationship with these exchanges. I talked about how I sold some XRP recently to test out the liquidity on these exchanges and the process of withdrawing, and it went flawless. I had really flawless experiences on Uphold, Coinbase, and Caleb and Brown. But the experience did differ as far as the amount of fees and slippage that I ended up paying. And so I'd encourage you guys to take a look at your exchanges. Obviously, if you need a few more, I got those linked up down below. And actually, I need to update my link for Coinbase. I'm going to update my link for Coinbase because I know that I just realized that my link is not working for Coinbase. But many of you guys are probably on Coinbase anyways. But for Caleb and Brown, I just got set up over there. And I would consider you guys, highly consider taking a look at some of those. Oh, by the way, thoughts on Ondo. I'm going to speak on Ondo. They announced a new layer 1 chain today. So I need some time to look into this. Guys, I put in some good hours on these first. And by the way, when I do a coin review and it's a 20 or 30 minute coin review, that's a good sign. That means that there's actually something to talk about. You guys are going to see when I do some coin reviews coming up and they're only 5 minutes long, that's not good. It's not good. Because the 30-minute one that I did on HBAR, I felt like there was a lot more that I could have touched on, but I spent a couple hours recording that, just trying to make it as concise as possible. Okay, here's my next point. Let's record a 1 minute long clip or a 2 minute long clip, right? And I try to tighten it up as possible, but it still was about 30 minutes long because I need to be able to explain these fundamentals as to why, at the very end, after I go through all of the fundamentals, then at the very end, I feel like I can then justify, hey, here's why I'm taking profits at these levels. Here's why I'm holding this coin long term, or why I'm not going to be holding it long term. So just be aware. If you see a coin review that's 20 or 30 minutes long, good sign. If you see one that's only 5 minutes If you see a coin review that's a 60-second short, watch out. Yeah, Ondo has been impressive, though. Ondo has been impressive. I need to understand what just happened, though, with their layer 1. Were they on Ethereum before? See, I got to get caught up on this. Sui. Somebody wants a review of Sui. Yeah. Have I looked into Casper? No. It's on my list. It's on my list. A lot of people have been asking about Casper. Where did my list go? Oh. Yeah, I got a list of a bunch of crap on here. You guys got me looking into all sorts of crap. No offense, take a joke. Come on. Put your big boy pants on. But golly, this crap, man, I swear. You guys got me looking at some of this stuff. I got a good list. CeeLo. What shirt is that? So this is the shirt that Brad Garlinghouse had a picture in his office, and I think it was his office. I don't know if it was his home office or if it was the Ripple offices, but we're gonna add this one. So we got the Brad Garlinghouse tattoo. That has been a favorite of the community. People have been loving that one, but then we wanted to add this one, and so what I'm hoping to do is to create some bundles. So I want to be able to bundle up like the Bearable Guy collection for you guys, so you can get 4 or 5 shirts all at once in a bundle, and we'll do a little bit of a discounted rate for you. And then I want to do one for it'll be the Brad Garlinghouse collection, where we'll have the Brad Garlinghouse tattoo. We'll have this one, maybe 1 or 2 others. And so I want to eventually create some bundles for these collections that we've had. But this is Brad Garlinghouse's picture that he has in his office. Check it out. It says, "Laugh now, but one day XRP will power the world." And it's got a monkey that's wearing that sign. I think it's a pretty fun one. I like how it came out too. It hits pretty good. A lot of the Bearable Guy pictures, and a lot of them hit really good on black. But there are some other collections that we like to do on the Graphite Heather and the white are the 2 primary colors. But we're in the process right now of adding more colors to some of our other collections. We're also in the process of adding women's. But I will say, if you are women's, these shirts actually are unisex. They can be unisex. You just need to know that they are kind of technically men's, but they're just regular t-shirts. 100% cotton. But yeah, we are going to be bringing some women's. And then I also just got some mock-ups of some hats. So I know you guys have been wanting the hats and the beanies. And I just got some mock-ups from my guy yesterday, and they are looking really good. Really good. So we're hoping to have the hats on here soon too. And I appreciate your guys' support too. It's a way to support the cause, and the main reason why I wanted to get into the merch too is just because people want to spread the message. This is about community. This is about growing and spreading awareness of XRP and what's going on here. And I appreciate all of you guys for supporting the cause. Somebody said, the F is this, QVC. I try not to go full QVC. I try to only plug our sponsor with a quick little clip. Tonight's sponsor session was just me telling you to smack the thumbs up. Yeah. Why doesn't King County zip code work for Uphold? It should. It should. They shouldn't be by the county. Uphold is available in all 50 states of America, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not New York. Does New York still not have access to Uphold? I thought it was pretty much every state besides New York. Do Flare again? Yes, Flare's on the list. Sologenic and Corium's on the list. Yeah. I want to see the XRP Unleashed. Yeah, so I actually just talked with Maya from Fruition Films about the documentary. That's this poster right here behind me. They're actually in the process of getting us on Amazon, Apple, and some of these other platforms right now. It's just they give you just a hell of a time. She was describing what they're having to go to, and I'm not just like saying that to make up some excuse. She was explaining it, and it's crazy. It's so backwards. Basically, if you go kiss the ring in Hollywood, you get the whole world. They prop you up, they use you and abuse you, and when they're done with you, they throw you off to the side. But if you kiss the ring in Hollywood, then you're good to go. But Chris and the team, they're not kissing the ring. That's not how they work. You know, they've tried to present this to some of the Hollywood execs and some of these other bigger, you know, and they're not even open to it. But what's crazy about these streaming platforms is that they get upset if you've already monetized the film. And this was the film festival she was telling me. If you take them to these film festivals, but you've already been selling the film on your own website, they frown upon that. They go against that. It's like, well, how else are you supposed to produce a film if you can't independently fund the film yourself? That's somehow a reason why we can't take it to a film festival. I mean, it's just backwards. The whole thing's backwards. But if you kiss the ring and bend over, you're good to go. But the update is that they are in the process of Amazon and others, and they're hoping to have it here in the next couple months. In the next couple months for XRP Unleashed. Hey, Zach, I'm all the way from South Africa. When will Paul Atkins take his seat officially? Thanks for the info. The expectation is about 30 to 60 days. Typically, it does not take longer than that. But we're dealing with some babies that are crying and kicking and screaming and doing everything that they can to stop the president's agenda from moving forward. But 30 to 60 days is the expectation. They've just extended and pushed back Kash Patel's confirmation hearing until next week. And boy, I'm excited to see what Kash does. His confirmation hearing, his testimony was great. They tried to throw some crap at him, and boy, was he dialed in. Talk about being locked in. Kash Patel. You know what I'm bullish on? I'm the most bullish on the hammer of justice right now. That's what I'm bullish on. The hammer of justice. Yep. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to wrap up this session. It has been an absolute pleasure tonight, though. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for stopping by. On the way out, if you could make sure you like this video, help me out by sharing out our content far and wide. The short videos do well for sharing out far and wide. Send them to friends, send them to family that have never heard of crypto, don't know about XRP. Send them the short ones. Don't send them into a full 2-hour-long live show. They won't be able to handle it. They won't know what to do. But send them the quick stuff, okay? Let's share it out far and wide. I appreciate your support. Everything's at ZachRector.com. When you go use our community resources, it is a way for us to keep the lights on, and I do appreciate you for that. We got some new merch that just dropped this week. More merch on the way next week. Canada and Australia are live. Women's and hats on the way. Let me know anything else that you guys would like to see. We're open to it all. And I hope you guys are having a good time out there. Stay safe. God bless all of you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
you.